Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here, Friday, May the 26th, Feast of Saint Philip Neri, founder of the Congregation of the Oratory. Beautiful saint in so many ways. For his humor, noted for his cheerfulness. He was the friend of popes. They relied upon him, especially I think it was Pius V who relied upon him a great deal. Philip Neri had many gifts. So the Acts of the Apostles is Paul the hot potato. So they don't know what to do with him. Basically, the Romans, they didn't care about this stuff at this point. Paul preaching about Jesus, this Jesus character. But the Jews are making such a fuss about it. They don't know what to do with him. So he goes to Caesarea to be tried by Felix. Felix was succeeded by Porcius Festus. And then King Agrippa and Bernice enter the scene, and they hear Paul speak. And basically, it is, I'll pick it up from here. So Felix basically is at a loss what to do with this man, because Rome has, they have law. It's not all just about passions and emotions, but they have law. Anyway, so this is why he writes, since I was at a loss as to how to investigate these questions, I asked whether he wished to go to Jerusalem to be tried there on these charges. That's kind of he's not exactly telling the truth. He was actually going to send Paul to Jerusalem at the bequest of the Jews, which was inappropriate, and actually they were waiting to murder Paul. So he had no right to do this. So Paul had to appeal. He had to exercise his right as a Roman citizen. So anyways, but God works through all of these machinations, right? These political, egotistical machinations. Felix is just covering his butt, to be quite blunt about it. But he's lying. He's lying. He's not telling the truth. But when Paul had appealed to be kept in custody for the decision of his imperial majesty, I ordered him to be held until I could send him to the emperor. He doesn't know what charge what to charge him with, though. So my reflection here is how God works through all of these political machinations, how God works through all of these things. And Paul knows that he is ultimately going to land up in Rome, because Jesus said, as you have witnessed to me in Jerusalem, so you must also witness in Rome. So he knew he was going to get to Rome. So he's probably just sitting back and saying, I'll put it in my language, play your games, write your letters, do your thing, blah, 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 toss me around like a hot potato, but I'm going to wind up in Rome, because that's what the Lord wants. The Lord wants me to testify to him in Rome. That's the hub of the empire. So he wants the truth of Jesus going all over the place from the heart of the empire. That's the way our beautiful God works. Okay, so we can work through all of our stupidity, our sinfulness, and so on. Over to the Gospel, Sea of Tiberias. It's the do you love me 3 times scenario. So Simon, son of John, do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Second time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter said, yes, Lord, you know I love you. 10 my sheep. Jesus said to him a third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter felt hurt because Jesus said to him a third time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. So if you know the Greek here, which I don't, but I know where Bishop Sheen wrote one of his books, I think A Priest is Not His Own, talks about this. So the Greek goes like this. There's 3 words in Greek, agape, philia, and eros. So the word is, the highest form of love is agape. And philia is brotherly love. Okay, so Jesus says, do you agape me? Peter says, I philia you. Second, Peter, do you agape me? This is a sacrificial love. Peter says, I philia you. The reason Peter is upset is the third time Jesus says, do you philia me then? So he comes down to his level. He wants Peter to come up to his level. Peter won't do it because he knows what he's done. He overpromised and underdelivered, right? So the third time, Peter, do you philia me? Yes, Lord, you know I philia you. It's everything. I'm giving you everything I can. I'm not ready for the agape yet, but he will be in the future. That's why he's upset. He's upset at himself because he's denied Jesus. And Jesus is so loving. The condescension of love here, he comes down to Peter's level. He takes what Peter can give him and he trains him and molds him and mentors him so that one day Peter will give everything. Jesus, our God, is so merciful and kind. And that's why the takeaway here. God is merciful and kind. At times we think he's not. He always is. That's our problem. That's not God's problem. So just think and reflect on God's merciful love towards Peter, God's merciful love towards you. God bless you.